Hello and welcome to TotoTCG. You are here with me, Matthew, and we are back here with another Pokemon video on the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be checking out a new GX. Now this new GX will be coming into our next set, which will be Unified Minds. Apparently it's going to be one of the biggest sets, even though we've already just had one. I believe it was in Lost Thunder. We got that in Lost Thunder. I think it was a massive, like 200 or so cards, probably over that. This one is looking to break that one as well. So this is going to be made up of 3 different sets, 2 of which have been fully revealed, 1 of which has been revealed, but we're just waiting for the full arts and secret rares, and then that one could be shown off. But in today's video, we're going to be checking out the first of the Japanese sets, which is called GG End. And we'll get to know why that is called that as we progress through the different cards. So, of course, we're starting with a new GX, and as the background might sort of suggest, we're looking at a bit of a fire type. So, which one in particular are we going to be having a look at? Well, let's have a little look, because we have got Heatran GX. Oh, yeah. So, of course, it is just a normal GX. We're still getting the GXs and our tag team GXs, so they're still both in play, which is always very, very nice to see. A very interesting looking card. It's just going to be whether the attacks will live up to the hype. So, of course, it is a fire type. How can we guess that? With a HP of 190. And then it's a basic Pokemon, of course, so it doesn't need to be evolved. It can just be played straight down. But let's have a little look at all of its other artworks, and then we can move on to the attacks. So, firstly, let's start with that full art. And there it is right there. It does look pretty cool, I have to say. It does look very, very nice indeed. I think, in terms of, like, if we're talking Pokemon Go, I think the first Heatran I caught, and it's the only Heatran, it was a 96 IV, which is just great. So, I mean, we're just putting it out there. But, so this is good for me, because obviously that was, like, one of the first sort of legendary Gen 4 types that I got. And I was like, okay, pretty cool, 96 IV, but this one is coming out as a card, and it looks pretty cool. The full art, I do like it. And of course the rainbow red does look very interesting indeed. A lot of red going on there. The eyes are red as well. It does look really, really interesting indeed. So let's have a little look at the attacks now. So we got firstly an ability called Burning Road. So once during your turn, if this Pokemon was on your bench and became your active Pokemon this turn, you may move any number of fire energies attached to your Pokemon to this Pokemon. Which I guess is pretty cool, you know, because you could sort of have this ready in your hand. You bring it down into your... if it becomes an active from being in the bench. So it has to be on the bench, sorry, in order for it to be brought up. So ideally, if something gets knocked out in the front, you bring up this, boom, shove some energies on this. Admittedly, you only need probably about 3 on this, but we'll have to have a little look to see what that GX does in particular. So very nice ability, but do the attacks live up to the hype? Let's have a little look. So first one is for 2 fire and a colourless, which is called Explosive Stamp. Might want to call that Stomp instead, but there we go. 130 damage. Boom. There you go. That's what that does. So I mean, it's interesting. It's not a massive amount. You know, it's not. We're not talking Reshiram Charizard here, but 130 is not bad. Especially with fire being very, very high up in priority, very quick to get fire going. So having 130 damage is going to be very, very nice indeed. And then let's have a look at that GX, which is called Heat Bomber GX for just 1 fire. What does it do? So it's 50 times damage. This attack does 50 damage times the amount of fire energy attached to this Pokemon. So there we go. That is probably why the ability comes into play here. A very, very nice way of grabbing as many energies as you want. Even if maybe you've got 2, you might even have a welder in hand. You get the 2 energies onto this thing. Welder, put another 2 on there. That's 4. That's 200 damage there for a GX for what is just costing you basically 1 fire. It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool indeed. Can I see this being like a deck on its own? No. Can I see it being a tech in a deck? Yes, I probably could. I personally quite like it. I think it would be an interesting one just to sort of like plonk into a fire deck, especially if you can just leave it on the bench and then you're like, yikes, active, boom, brings everything up to it. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed to see how this goes. I haven't seen a lot of it being sort of like shown off in decks like from Japan, because normally they've got this beforehand. They've had this like about 2-3 months now. So for them to sort of like make something with this, it'd just be really interesting to see how they've used this, if they have at all. But there we go. There are the attacks and everything. So let's just finish this card off with, of course, when it is knocked out, your opponent is going to be taking those beautiful 2 prize cards. It does have a weakness to water, obviously, resistance to nothing, and a retreat, a very big retreat of 3 there. But with a skateboard staying in, at least you can bring that down to 2. You're not really going to be able to get away with much then, but when you've got 3 on it to do the 130 there, you're looking pretty good. So yeah, there we go. Heatran GX. Very, very interesting indeed. Is it the strongest from this set of GG End? Probably not, but I do like it. I like it. I don't know whether it'll be playable. I don't really think it will, but it's a nice little possible tech to just put in there. So yeah, there we go. Very, very cool. So let's finish this off with the guess, the GX. The answer from our previous video, I mean, when was that now? That was quite a while ago. We're probably talking... it was probably the last time we had a little look at our last Japanese set, finishing off I think it was part 1 and part 2. It'll be from then. So if you have seen that, there you go. And if you put your answer, or you know your answer, then you'll know what's coming up. So in that, when I gave you that picture right there, what was that in particular? Well, it was Heatran GX, which is still going to be in after rotation. And a pretty interesting fire type, if I'm brutally honest. Possibly a very, very nice one to sort of try and make something with. The Bright Flame for 190, really, really cool. And then we've got a discard pile type thing there with the fire on the bottom for the GX, which isn't bad. And then Heat Stage allows you to attach 3 fire energies from your hand to any Pokemon any way you like. I mean, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. Might even help with Reshizard. But there we go. Heatran GX. Very cool. And then in the Guess the GX for this video, we're switching it up a little bit. Let's turn it up a notch and let's go. There's number 1. There's number 2. And there's number 3. Yes, it is a Rainbow Rare. I'm bringing in some serious backup now. We're going Rainbow Rare types for a bit. So let me know in the comments below what you think this one is in particular, as well as your thoughts on Heatran GX. Do you think it's pretty cool? Do you think you're definitely going to be picking it up? I mean, as a collector myself, I'm going to have to. But if it's not playable, that means it's going to be a card that's going to be very cheap. Happy days for me. So yeah, there we go. So I will leave it here for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed. We're back now doing these reviews for the sets, getting ready for Unified Minds coming up shortly. We're not like right behind. But it is coming up very shortly, and we're going to have more stuff coming up for different sets. So I want to try and get as much as we can up to date. So there we go. So I will see you guys in the next video on the channel.